our Ranch A.G.F.C live, where we like to be, where we love to be. I'm your host, Brian. I want to welcome everybody back in the seat. I might be a little rusty, but if you'll bear with me. This is a place where we like to come in. Come on in, grab your seat, grab your favorite snack, your favorite drink. Got the Folgers in the B cup, ready to light this up. This is where we like to come. Sit back, check out the latest air gunning news and reviews, and just kick back and enjoy each other's company. And I'll serve you up whatever air gun information and fun we can here at our Ranch A.G.F.C Electronic Pub. So again, welcome everybody. So let's light this up. Who do we got in the back in the chat? We got Mystic 22222 was the first. Come in. Thank you, sir. Great to see you. I know we'll see you maybe at 5 o'clock. So hopefully with that. Anybody else we got? We got one other viewer that's watching. Come on in. Let me know who you are and I'll serve you up. This electronic pub, I'm your bartender. I'm your air gun bartender. Now, with that being said, how we doing? I'm doing all right. Been on the job search for the past 3 weeks, trying to find me something to do. Try, oh boy, got to go back to work, disabled or not. Got to make me some money. I need new air guns. What can I say? Christy laughs at me and she says, "No way," but so don't be shy. Come on in. Enter the chat. Let me know who you are. We have a link I'm going to be posting right now, which will invite you to come on back into the live stream. There we go. There's that link. Go ahead and click on it and you can join into the chat, into the live stream, and be part of the show. So don't be shy. Come on in. Let me see something here. So today we're going to be talking about a few things. We are going to go check out into our YouTube channel here. Okay. I see Less Than Lethal Armed Forces. He's got a premiere coming up at 6 o'clock. We got Let's Upgrade. Complete Technology Solutions is going on right now. Let's upgrade the Snow Peak Defender CP300. Okay. What else we got as far as air gunning is concerned? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the show. Come on into the chat and let me know who you are. There's a link there. You can click on it and join into the live stream yourself. Introduce yourself and have some fun with us today. So let me see what we got. What do we got? We got a few things going on. Um, where's air guns? So is everybody seeing and hearing me okay? 5 by 5, let me know. This is the first day back in the saddle in almost a month, so I might be a little rusty. Things might be. How's my audio? Let me know, guys. Mark Bostic's got an unboxing. He's our resident air gunner that does unboxing and all different types of stuff. We got DG Outdoors channel going on, outdoor production uploaded. Allen Shotgun Shell Belt. We could check that out. Our buddy Afro Sniper X, he just put out a video. Uh, 200 yards with the 22 long rifle. That was cool. That was crazy. That was crazy to see. Um, let's start in with and maybe not be air gun related, but he's an air gun brother and he's special to my heart. So we'll go ahead and play his video first. This is DG Outdoors, DG Outdoor Productions. Let's get into him here. Wow. Let me see here. Let me get back into this. Let's go into sharing this again. Um, Allen Shotgun Belt Review. Now this is DG Outdoors channel. He's doing a review, I guess, on a shotgun belt. Let's check it out. It's just the shorts, and let's see what's happening here.
Brand. It's called the
On
Fast
this May 98. Hi, May.
SR2. Fastest XR2. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Shotgun shell holder. I've had two of these over the years, and they actually work really well. Maybe 98 is going to pull one out. I can pull one out, shove it in there, be ready to shoot again. And that's where the Allen, okay, this is the Allen ITW Nexus brand. It's called the Fast Sticks SR2. Fastest XR2. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Shotgun shell holder. I've had two of these over the years, and they actually work really well. Maybe 98 is going to pull one out. I can pull one out, shove it in there, be ready to shoot again. And that's where the Allen, okay, this is the Allen.
That was cool. A cool review. Little shorts there on DG Outdoors channel. Let's check out Mr. Mark Bostic, see what he's doing. I like to support these guys. I like to, play their videos on the live stream, give them some exposure, and yeah. So let's check out Mark's video here.
And I do a lot of.
Let me get it shared. Do we got him shared? Okay. And I just closed it out. Why did I do that? YouTuber's mistake. Live stream blooper. There we go.
A lot of those on the channel, things I share with you that I've bought before. And usually if I do that, it's because I really like the product. Well, that's the case with this one. This one, I don't know if you can make that out, comes from Core Essentials. Core with a K. And I did a video just a little while back about their product. And what their product is they're tactical style belts. They do a lot of,
Cool.
they're really known for their gun belt, but more so, I guess, just for their design in, and right there's a QR code. You can actually hit that up, stop your video and hit it if you're interested in checking out their product. Yeah, so it's a tactical belt. This one has a little bit of sentimental value to me personally, and because I got a chance to order a special belt buckle with it, and this is the one I ordered.
Nice. The
Has a
American
little
flag.
bit of sentimental value to me. Hopefully to you too.
Good job, Mark. Good
But
job.
anyway, the belt comes to in various different lengths. And what you're supposed to do is take
like
the
it.
measurement, figure out how
Called
big you
Core
need,
Essentials.
and actually cut it. I think you can see that along
They
these
make
lines,
tactical
depending
belts,
on your
belts,
size.
and tactical belts.
Oh.
And then the belt buckle itself, when it goes on, has a ratcheting type of feature to it. So let me see if I can get it to do this real quick. Maybe and maybe not. So essentially it goes in and it has 1/4 inch increments
Now that's cool.
and locks in. You push up the little button at the bottom.
Every air gunner needs a
Slide
tactical belt.
This one is a canvas styled with the black camo. I hope that comes out on the video okay. Looks pretty good. I like it. I needed
I
something
do too.
a little less formal than my black traditional leather
But
belt.
it's stiff. It's rigid. It's not
A little
going
more
to.
me.
It's not going to
more
bend
me.
and fold.
And something I could wear on a daily basis and feel comfortable. All of us know when you've been out somewhere and you had a nice meal or something, you always want to pop that belt button a little bit, give yourself some
Yep.
air.
Yep.
This one, you hit the little device there and it lets you ratchet out. 1/4 inch.
Very cool.
A half
Very
inch,
cool.
an inch, whatever you want. Anyway, this is the second time I purchased their product. I highly recommend them, even though I'm not sponsored by them. Again, I'm going to throw up this QR code if you want to hit them up.
All right. All right.
Check them out. All right, guys. Have a
Check it
great
out.
day. Unless, of course, you made
That
other
was
plans.
Mark
Till next
Bostic.
time. Peace out.
From Unboxing with Mark.
Imagine they had art list footage in the 60s.
Okay, guys, how are we going to
All right, everybody. I don't know if you're hearing me or not, but I had a technical glitch, a YouTuber's error, live stream blooper again, big time. I am working on my camera problem, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're still having technical difficulties. Yeah, here we go. One more time. No camera. No camera. I'm gonna be doing this live show. Looks like the radio. No picture, just audio. Still haven't got nobody come in the chat. I don't know if I think Mystic's gone. I don't know who's still with me. If you just bear with me one more moment, I will try to figure out this technical problem. And still no video. Well, here's the biggest glitch for today. This live stream is going audio only. So I'm Brian, your electronic pub bartender, and it's not like it's going to be the live stream I wanted to come back on for the first time in 4 weeks. So stay tuned. I'm going to continue to try to work on this glitch, and I'll be right back with you. Well, my string just went red. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Unfortunately, I have hit a critical error with my camera. My camera has just died on me. So please be patient and I'll be right back. Here's some music to listen to. Let me see, let me get into it. We are going to listen to some little bit of rock and roll. Rock and roll. Okay, let's get this. Excuse me, copy hiccup. All kinds of hiccups today, huh? Okay. Just go with it. This is called One Right Decision. And I'm still just clunking around, man. I have messed this up big time, haven't I? All right. One Right Decision by Rock and Stop. And we're back. Un- Unbelievably. Oh, how I go through this, how I get through it, I don't know. So, again, my apologies. I'm sorry, everybody. I hope this didn't cause anybody any too much distraction and but we're back. We're back live. I still got one current viewer. Thank you for sticking around, whoever you are. Come into the chat and let me know, and we'll get this show going again. Oh, gotta love Folgers in a big cup. So do us a favor, everybody, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button. Like and share this so others can see it and for what it is anyway. And up in the top left-hand corner is a QR code. You can scan that QR code and it'll take you straight to our PayPal site that you can leave a donation to help support the channel and the live stream. All that would be very much appreciated. So let's see, where are we? We still got one like, one viewing. Let's get back into what we were doing. Airgun news. We got our friend from Airguns of Michigan, our friend Moose. He has put out a video today about the best mid-range airgun scopes, Arcan Optics. Cool. Maybe we'll check that out here in a minute. We got Berna's Hot Talk, Episode 10, Part 2, Personal Safety on the Water with Ryan Levinson. I think we'll go ahead and we'll check out Berna's Hot Talk video here. Okay, let me get back into the studio and let's share this. This is Berna Kinetic Rounds. Berna makes less than lethal launchers for self-defense, home defense, home protection, self-protection. And, I don't really remember this guy's name. I'm trying to remember who he might be. Ryan dives deep into how you can train incredibly easy and safely with burner launchers in, on, and around your boat to create very realistic scenarios. Ryan also discusses further issues he has had with trying to carry firearms on the water. All right, let's check it out.
Are prepared to defend. Today's show is part 2 of 2 with Ryan Levinson, the professional sailor, professional captain, who's really in the last episode, in the last Hot Take episode, gave us a really concise strategy and self-defense plan for our cruisers and boater crew out there about really how to make sure that you're taking a very proactive stance on your safety and personal defense. In this episode, we're really going to get into how you can implement that and train for that, and not only train on the boat but on land as well, and how you can implement Berna into that safety plan. So stay tuned for part 2 of Ryan on Berna's Hot Take. Yeah, we just had a great conversation in one of our last podcasts with Rebecca Milo. If you guys haven't seen that one yet, if you want to some more expansion on kind of the legal issues that we're talking about, go check it out, because we had that exact conversation about, like you said, that proportionality and the reasonableness of the response, and about how many cases that we've seen, here in the last just few years where something that was reasonable 20 years ago is not a reasonable response today, and people who are defending themselves are getting indicted and getting convicted of manslaughter charges or aggravated assault charges where
Again, for those who just popped in, we're watching Airgun News, and this is Burner's Hot Talk, episode 10, part 2, Personal Safety on the Water with Ryan Levinson.
I get it was a self-defense case, but because they were the defense was their defense was so unproportionately unreasonable that they found them guilty of that. So I couldn't agree with you more, especially in this day and age.
Imagine in the other countries what it's like.
And that was kind of my next question.
Where there's no Second Amendment.
Exactly. Like I can only imagine the trouble that you would get in some of those places where they wouldn't even dream of you letting you have a gun, and now you do. So just the presence of that. Not even using it, but just the presence of having it greatly increases your risk of legal issues.
Yeah, 100%. There's, it's no secret that guns are illegal, or at minimum unwelcome in a lot of the most popular cruising destinations. And there are ways to legally bring them into some areas. Sometimes you have to actually check them into the country and sort of leave them with law enforcement till you leave. But I do believe in general, you should respect the laws of the area you're going into. Not in general, period. You should, if you're a guest in their country, So, but what I see is more often than not, the people who have firearms have smuggled them in. They've sort of hid them in the compartments in their boat. And what happens more often than not in those cases are either the weapon becomes so rusty that it's completely ineffective. Then they do make some stainless steel, but the internals, the firing pin, those are still mild steel.
Living on the coast myself, and dealing with a lot of those, the salt and the sand all the time. I always, and people are like, well, I have a stainless steel this. I was like, look, all stainless does exactly what it says it does. It stains
less.
Not. Yeah. It's not stain, not steel. So, no, I completely agree.
100%. And if you have this weapon like hidden in some secret compartment deep inside your boat, and you don't get caught and prosecuted for having it caught, how are you going to, the person is coming to your boat, you've made the verbal threat, look, versus having a fanny pack on with a burner in it. And then there's the final thing that we alluded to earlier is maintaining proficiency and training. It's expensive. You have the same problems with ammunition that you have with the firearms. They're somewhat loud. You can't just walk around firing guns. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not an expert on the laws in every area, but I did some homework before I wrote the document and before you and I talked. And in a lot of countries, Byrna launchers are in the same category as paintball guns. Not always. Some countries make a differentiation based on whether the projectile is by a sort of an explosion or whether it's by a gas. Other countries make the differentiation more on the use. Is it being used against people for some sort of hostile thing or aggressive action versus like a game? And some places it has to do more with, does it look like a gun or not? Yeah, so you've got this inaccessible, potentially rusty, life-altering firearm hidden away somewhere in your boat, or you have a much less expensive, fun to stay proficient with, very marine friendly because it's made out of fiber reinforced plastic and aluminum basically, with inexpensive rounds that has a higher degree of effective response with less probability of an undesirable outcome.
That's a great way to put it. Less probability of an undesirable outcome. I love that. You talk about training, and obviously, I can only imagine, even if you do have a firearm, and even if the country that you're in, or the place you're in is allowing it, like you said, training with it, there's not probably a lot of places you can go to go shoot that, and you definitely have to go somewhere to go shoot that gun and find a range, in French Polynesia, which I don't even know if that exists, and so, I've seen some videos. And how do you train, and are you able to, and how do you train with the Byrna on your boat or around your boat to kind of, stay proficient and replicate some of those scenarios?
Yeah. A couple points here. First of all, I think it's important that I mention that while I'm not, a fervently vocal person about this, I'm a Second Amendment supporter. I have no problem with firearms. I've been through firearms training myself. So is my wife. I do not have firearms on my vessel right now, for the reasons that we've stated already. This is going on a limb and it's a tangent. But even if we're boarded by someone who's armed, which is such a small probability in French Polynesia that it's almost doesn't even need to be discussed. With a Byrna launcher, you can stay out of sight and certainly behind effective cover from the person coming aboard, and still fire pepper balls against the roof above them or the wall next to them in such a way that they're not going to be able to as effectively deploy their firearm against you, and give you the opportunity to potentially, retreat to a more secure area of the boat, obtain more lethal. So anyways, but back to what you're talking about with training and maintaining proficiency. In terms of firearm proficiency, look, any cruiser who's been to these remote areas is going to say, you make your own range, you shoot at coconuts or something. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody within 100 miles. You hope, exactly. You could, but you could fire your super expensive ammunition and expose your boat to the salt and the sand and the rest occasionally, and maybe maintain some small level of proficiency before you tear it all down, oil it, and hide it in some dark crack in your boat. Or you can have a Byrna launcher, which has the same form factor as a pistol, or a Byrna rifle launcher, which has almost the exact same form factor as, like, for example, an AR for the Mission 4. And now you can drill most of the weapon manipulation techniques, I guess, skills that you would use with a firearm. You can practice getting a good sight picture. You can practice even reloading and things like this without needing an actual firearm. So it's, you're not managing recoil. You're not obviously doing anything at any kind of long distance. There are significant differences, but you can build and maintain a lot of that muscle memory proficiency. Now, having said that, I am training with launchers specifically to be effective with a launcher.
Right.
I'm not training with launchers to try to be a better operator of a firearm. So in terms of that, the launchers are quiet. They make sort of this like poof sound. They certainly don't echo reverberating over all the hills, they're out. They do look like a weapon.
I don't know.
So
They're
you
pretty
want to
loud.
be cognizant of not training in an area where you're going to alarm people or bring sort of undue attention to yourself. If I have other sailboats in the area, I'll say, hey, listen, I'm using this Byrna launcher, which, by the way, is something that could be very helpful for you too. And here's why. Let's have a big talk about it. But after that, I'm going to go back to my boat and I'm going to train with this. Why don't you come? You can even watch and be a part of it.
Right.
You don't have as much sort of, let's say, range risk of having novices in the area as you would with a firearm as well. But we've done a lot of training. I've fired easily a few thousand rounds already.
That's a lot. That's a lot of training.
In the time that we've had it. Even last night, we were out training last night. You have to train day, you have to train night, you have to train multiple scenarios. So I'll give you some examples of how we train. On a boat, when we do train, oftentimes we use the Target tent, which is a Byrna product. It's affordable. It compacts into a really small area, which is really important on sailboats where you don't have much storage. It doesn't have any metal components or if they are, they're very well protected. It's basically a pop-up tent with a torso on it. And it allows you to fire the projectiles at this sort of torso figure in a way that doesn't cause them to ricochet off into the water, and you can reuse them, and you're not polluting. And it also, has a torso shape, and you can place it into different areas on your boat and practice getting a sight picture. Where would you want to be to take the shot? What areas on your boat are in the way for if you have to move around? What area can you retreat to if it for some reason proves to not be effective, or if there's more threats than you can manage? What are other areas where threats might potentially be coming towards you? How do the environmental conditions impact your ability to effectively deploy the launcher? Rain, wind, the boat is moving, bouncing around. It's way different than on land. So examples that a sailor could relate to would be firing from the cockpit to the swim step in the transom, firing from the cockpit to the gunnel, to the side of the boat where people might come over the boat, firing from the cockpit to the bow to the cockpit.
That gives you a great opportunity too to think about, like you said, like from the cockpit to the swim step is usually, from my experience, there's a big level difference there. That transom is way lower than the cockpit. So when you're training that, now you're also getting to see, the difference in how you can use cover and concealment from that angle and play that angle.
Hey,
to give you such a more advantaged position, or like you said, like from the cockpit to the gunnel, where like you at that point you're kind of exposed, and maybe I need to kind of move down into the cabin of the boat rather to try to give me that that angle advantage.
Or if you have crew and you've trained and you've practiced scenarios together while you're making your verbal challenge and assessing the threat, and once it determines that it is a threat and you're not in a position to engage, like they might have some sort of projectile weapon and you want to get out of the way, well, in the meantime,
again, everybody, we are watching Berna's Hot Talk, episode 10, part 2, personal safety on the water. Go ahead and leave your comments in the chat box if you have any questions on what this is about. And I'll do the best I can to serve you up with an answer. As your electronic pubs bartender here, air gunner bartender. So, let's continue on with this. And just want to let you know that if you're new, you just come in, what we're watching. And don't forget to hit that like button.
your crew can be covering you with like a mission 4 through a hatch. So they're protected from, example, spear guns, knives being thrown, whatever it is, and can still very effectively fire deterrents, which will then draw the attention. And now you're in a position where you can, it doesn't take much practice for this to happen, but it does take practice. So in terms of maintaining proficiency and actually using the launcher, you can go out and just have fun shooting the target tent, put it in different places in the boat and fire. And it is fun. It's like playing darts with something that's a little bit different, you can have friends over.
You can even, like you said, protecting your boat, making sure that nobody can get to your boat. I mean, my brain's reeling now in different scenario, different training, I mean, even putting that target tent in a dinghy, and shoving it, 10 feet.
Exactly.
From
and this is what we do. What you do is you strap it on a stand-up paddleboard, or you don't have to strap it. You put weights in it, like dive weights. It stays on the big inflatable stand-up paddleboard. A long line or rope leading from the stand-up paddleboard to the dinghy. Crew drives the dinghy, towing the stand-up paddleboard. Person training can fire from there. And fortunately, you're going to miss sometimes, especially at longer range. But Berna makes the eco rounds, which, what are they made out of? Like sugar or something?
Powder.
They're just
Yeah,
like this powder that, it's
just a completely,
it's a safe powder, not like a toxic
safe,
powder.
Yep. Eco-friendly powder. So
yeah, it just dissolves in water.
yeah,
So it doesn't do great in the tropics because of the humidity.
Sure.
But that's one way that you can train against a moving target.
Now
I'm
trying
gonna-
to
I'm
recreate
gonna say
that with firearms is almost that would
Possible.
be incredibly hard to do safely and to do effectively.
Not impossible,
but-
like you said.
But that is a
incredibly hard.
legitimate, like you said, a very legitimate scenario. I got to keep them from getting on this boat. If I know that they're a threat, I'm going to be engaging as soon as I can. And that means not letting them get to the boat. That means while they're on their boat. And being able to recreate that in a very easily trainable scenario is massive.
And safe.
Yeah, and very safe is such a massive advantage.
I think people underestimate how useful it is to practice. Like, for example, on our Mission 4, the Mission 4 has M-LOK rails, and it has the ability to attach lots of things to it. So we put a Romeo 5 on. We put a dot on it. So being able to practice getting a good sight picture against a moving target from different places on the boat, being able to or using just the fixed sights on the pistol, for example. A lot of times these threats are going to be coming at night. In fact, most of the time I'd say they're going to be coming at night. So both the Byrna pistol and the Mission 4, the two that we're most familiar with, we've put lights on it, a tactical light. It's very, very bright. You shine it in their eyes, it's disorientating. You might not even need to use the Byrna. And it has a strobe, which is also disorientating. But can you very quickly activate that strobe?
Yep.
Yes, if you've practiced. And then can you deploy rounds effectively against the threat using a strobe light? Yes, if you've practiced. Yes, if you've practiced. So other ways, and I think this is super, super critical to mention that I'm personally never in any way suggesting that you bring a Byrna to a gunfight. I don't think that if you assess that threat, even potentially has a firearm, like they're wearing a lot of loose clothes or something, I wouldn't probably deploy my Byrna except as a very last resort. But I would deploy a bright light with a strobe. I would potentially chemical rounds.
See, I gotta disagree with him right there. It's not bringing a Byrna to a gunfight. It's having your Byrna at a gunfight. It's how would you say? Better have something than nothing, as my friend at TAC Family would say. Better to have something than nothing. Having a Byrna at a gunfight is better than being empty-handed at a gunfight. So let's get back into it.
Into their vessel, things like this. But you need to be aware of that. Now, again, almost so small that I can say it's in this easily single digits percentage of the people are going to have firearms coming against you. So let's put that aside for now and assume that they don't. Yeah. Okay. So other forms of training that we have found to be really useful here while we're in California on our vacation, we actually took a cardboard box and lined it with a really heavy duty fabric, basically like a thick felt, and tied a piece of rope to it. And we practice facing away from that with the Byrna launcher in the waist pack. I always forget the official Byrna name for the the waist pack. And then like for example, if I'm the one who's training, I'll just I'm hanging out, enjoying the day, and then Nicole will go grr grr grr, and she'll start running towards me, pulling this box along the ground. I have to open the waist bag, deploy the launcher, and get rounds into the dog. But we also simulate, hey, go away, go away, go away.
Hey,
Dog keeps coming.
Yep.
Now you fire.
Man, that's such
Right,
an easy
so it
way
becomes-
to do that.
So easy,
I
and
mean,
it's fun. And
I've
then
got
with
15
the
Amazon boxes sitting at my house doing nothing, and most people probably do, So yeah, that's
another really fun, a reactive target that like sort of does something when you hit it is more fun than shooting paper usually, right? So we take these boxes and you line it with the heavy fabric, and you hang from a piece of twine spent CO2 cartridges and then when you shoot it, it makes a really ping. And if you're shooting an eco-kinetic or one of the training powder rounds, you get the little satisfying explosion.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
I love
so what
shooting
we've done is
steel,
we've-
so that's a lot like that. You get that you get that little
Good
reward.
idea.
Exactly.
Hit it.
Yeah,
That's
and it
awesome.
doesn't go
You go try
shooting off
that.
in crazy directions, like
Exactly.
So anyways, what we'll do is another thing that we've done is we made a life-size torso out of cardboard, and we taped it to the end of a long pole. And with the Mission 4, I'll have it. I have mine on a sling, So this would be you have a threat that is approaching, and you've decided that it's enough of a threat that you want to have a mission for, or maybe you're the crew backing up Nicole, who's going to do the verbal challenge, whatever it is. And then, but we missed somebody, or we came on deck at night after they're already on board, at which point you better believe I'm going to have the mission for with two 19-round mags, with the light, with the strobe, I'm ready. If I'm facing one target or one potential threat, or I'm just looking in the wrong direction, and there's one coming from behind me, can I very quickly turn and deploy this launcher? I don't want to necessarily be walking around thinking I'm like some SWAT guy. I'll leave that to the real SWAT guys like you. But I want to be able to quickly deploy it. So what we do is, Nicole, for example, will run towards me or walk quickly towards me with this pole extending far away from her with this torso on it. So it's a moving target. And I have to turn, quickly bring up the launcher. Hey, stop, stop, stop. They don't, a couple rounds, center mass. If I want to use chemical rounds, can I very quickly switch the magazines to the chemical rounds? Same thing. Then that drops, and then Nicole will then go threat left. And then I rotate, deploy, the launcher against the target to the left. Threat right, turn to the right. Threat behind you, turn behind you. And at night, we'll even add, laser, light, both, whatever it is. So you're learning how to very quickly manipulate all these accessories that you've added to your burner launchers, as well as the burner launchers, as well as how do you move.
Yep.
And it's fun.
And you've incorporated shooting a moving target. You've incorporated, the escalation. So, verbal into, engage, assess, re-engage, and then engaging multiple targets into a drill that costs you about 80 cents of cardboard and a broomstick, to recreate. And that's that's the part that I love about, Byrna's ability to manipulate itself into those training scenarios, is that there's so many things that we can do to advance our skill set and to prepare us better that are so easy and cheap with stuff that you probably already have at the house that you can do at the house
or
on the boat or in the backyard. You don't have to go to a range to do that. And coming just because we've done those drills with live fire, to do what you just said with live fire takes mechanisms. It takes very elaborate targeting systems. It takes a range that allows you to shoot in at least 2 directions, if not 3 directions. That it is a very intensive drill to set up and execute. Safety is got to be of utmost importance, and that would be something that you would only do very, very rarely, just because of the work it takes to put in to make it happen. But you'd really literally did it, probably in an hour in an afternoon in your own
last night.
Yeah, exactly, in the backyard.
Yeah.
So
in the backyard.
So that's incredible.
While my mother-in-law,
incredible.
sat by the pool watching.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have with firearms, you have to be aware of what's behind the targets if you miss. So we're careful. We wear eye protection. We follow the main rules of firearms. We always treat it as though it's loaded. We keep our finger off the trigger till we're ready to shoot. We're aware of the target and what's around. We don't point the launcher to anything that we're not willing to destroy. And, and all the other stuff. We talk about, okay, we probably sound dorky, but, we're like weapon hot, when we're ready to actually train. Weapon safe when we're done. We show and verify that there's no more balls in the launchers and that the CO2 cartridge is removed, whatever it is.
Good habits and I think that are never wasted. That kind of, because that transitions into everything, and especially in the boating environment. From my time in sailing and whatnot, there's a lot of that as well. There's a lot of that confirmation and making sure that there's that. What almost seems like too much communication, but it is really necessary.
Yeah. I want to say something about this. The main point on it is training, training, training. Getting to know your device, getting to know the accessories on your device. Being prepared is the most important thing, I believe, is being prepared. Let me get out of this real quick, guys. Get back into my studio. We have our friend Anonymous American. How are you, my friend? How are you? Great to see you. We have Mystic 22222 in the chat, and now he's in the back, and I'm going to be bringing him forward here shortly. If there's a multiple threats, I'm grabbing more than a burner at minimal, a semi-auto slinger. Yep, I buy it. Yep, you're right. But if that's all you got, you got to use what you have. It's better than nothing. It's better than having nothing. If there's a multiple threats, and I got my Burnett TCR, which got 19 rounds on board, I, if that's all I have, that's all I have. That pepper ball's all you got. Yes, knowing your arm of the defense inside and out is key. Training it often. I believe that. I believe that. And my friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wherever you are, whenever you are watching this broadcast, I want to introduce my great friend, my good friend, and a good friend of yours too, Mystic 22222.
Hello.
Mystic,
Well, am
great
I
to
glad
see
to
you,
see you,
my
Brian?
friend.
You got a
Yes,
lot of you got a lot of people worried about you, Brian.
I did.
Yeah, you at least need to let us know if you're taking time off.
Well, I'm sorry about that, my friend. Yeah, things kind of, start falling apart and happening here at the ranch, and I had to go back and do some physical therapy with my spine and do some more MRIs, and that took a lot of time. Um, and now I'm back on the job search, so that's taken time. But again, I apologize. I'm sorry I didn't let everybody know. I just kind of drifted away, didn't I?
Well, what was worrying me most was the fact that you hadn't even posted on Rumble in 29 days, and so given that you weren't kicked off of Rumble, it didn't look good.
No, no.
And We Break for Squirrel said that he had sent you some money to get you back online, but it hadn't come up, so that's why we were concerned.
Now, see that's what's confusing me because I never received anything from him.
Oh,
Um, unless I had uh, his Jose Pereira or something like that came. I had an anonymous donation for $100 that helped me bring my internet back up to par.
maybe that was it.
And I'm thinking that might be him.
Hmm.
'Cause I don't know Lieutenant Triggerfinger's real name.
Oh,
Um, I don't know him personally. I just know him through through the group, our our community.
yeah.
But and if they did that, we break for squirrels. We want to thank you again for that donation. It truly helped. Just things kind of went south on me here, and I have had to go and deal with doctors, physical therapists,
Yeah.
deal with trying to find work, trying to find a job because curiously strapped again here, and
Hmm.
I gotta get me some.
Yep.
So say a word to Yehovah
Yes, I did.
that I can find myself a job,
Yes.
something that's not going to bust my back.
No, you got. I mean, you had some background in electrical engineering, right?
Oh yeah, a little bit,
Uh,
not much, but
oh,
I mean, I have my it's an associate's of science degree in computer electronic engineering.
okay.
Okay, and that's as far as I've gone. And other than my own personal research and studying and tinkering around,
Mhm.
you know, um, so I've been applying at different places for that kind of position. I've been applying for I mean anywhere from IT to just inspection troubleshooting to basically going all the way back down to kitchen work, towing trucks,
Yeah.
towing cars. I've been trying to find whatever I can.
Yeah. I don't know if there's
So
a market anymore for web page designers.
I don't know. You know, I tried my hand at that, and I got a I got somewhat of a web page going. It's not all that great. I'm still working on it. But how you been doing? What you been up to?
Oh, well, um, I finally got a referral to an endocrinologist 3 months later, so I'm waiting for that in July. Uh,
Okay.
which, which since the medical community only allows you to see a doctor for one complaint at a time, that allowed me to slide to my second
Right.
problem, which at the time was 6-week-old bronchitis. It was the last time I talked to you. I had lost my voice.
No.
So, but 6 weeks is way too long for something like that to go on,
Right. Right.
and it was tapering off very, very, very gradually. And I probably would have gotten done with it by the end of the year, but at least I was able to talk to the doctor about that. So, um, I got myself I chose this doctor because he's so flexible, but I had to also check and make sure that it was only because we think a lot alike, and we do, that he came up with. Well, obviously, you must have overthrown this several weeks ago. By the way, two of the three grandkids have it too, still have it.
No. So
Um,
it's
so it's a free-fer, because if I can get mine diagnosed, then maybe they can get some help too. So he came to the same conclusion I had, that the virus was probably overthrown a long time ago, and now it's just an autoimmune response where the virus left this inflammation and my body doesn't know it's over with, so it keeps attacking it. And the answer to that is a little bit scary, and it's called prednisone, which turns off your immune system. So it says everything is fine. Don't fight anymore. Go back to work.
yeah, trust me, I know.
And so
But
the medicine did what it was supposed to. It did, in fact, make that bronchitis go away and allowed the actual bronchitis to come back. So, oh yeah, it was a
oh my
gamble.
god.
I know. I mean, we both guessed the same thing, but it's a gamble, and then I lost. And fortunately,
Now they put me on that prednisone after my surgery for all
yeah,
the inflammation.
right, exactly.
And
But you've got to be very careful not to get to any infections. And
yeah.
this one was an infection that hadn't actually really gone away. So it's a low grade infection, not just an autoimmune response. And I've got
Oh,
and I've got a
okay.
and I've got a tale of two kitties.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how adorable. We got two just yesterday. Ain't that something? You got two kittens and we got two kittens.
Soft hearts think alike. So
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
last time I talked to you, we had two bunnies. Now we have two kitties.
Oh man.
And now I put my foot down and says no, and saying no. Actually, you have to take care of what you got. And they've been living with me here in my RV, and it's about time for them to move out. And
Right.
and the new one actually moved out first. He found the secret passageway through the engine compartment, so he comes and goes as he pleases. The other one is psychologically bound, not quite ready to see the real world.
Anonymous American was American saying a lot of people keep getting autoimmune issues after that thing that happened a few years ago.
Well, yes,
COVID-19. Yeah.
there's little doubt about it that even if you did not get the injection, the actual bug, the first thing it does is it wants to take out your reproductive system. Second thing it does is it slowly takes out your immune system, and the third thing it does is it starts blood clotting, or actually it's not really blood clots. It's another kind of clot. If I can remember what it is, it's when you have protein fragments that are polymerizing in your blood vessels. It's
Okay. Wow.
and especially because nowadays everybody's body temperature has dropped from 98.6 down to about 97.8 or something. And at that temperature, these protein fragments do start polymerizing and um, basically daisy chaining, and they fill up your blood vessels until there's no room left. So I forgot what that's called.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think too.
Cryo something. Cryo something.
Hmm, wow. Yeah, since COVID, a lot of weird things have been happening in the medically
Yeah,
um, to a lot of people.
yeah.
Like Anonymous was saying, you know, a lot of people's immune systems have just been destroyed by this vaccine.
Well, it's been sabotaged. I mean, it's been destroyed if you were one of the people that died within a few weeks, but it's sabotaged in that it's basically one of the fragments of that virus was AIDS. It was HIV, which causes AIDS, and so you need to treat it as AIDS. They're calling it long COVID.
Long COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Anonymous also saying looks like black lung clots in your body that slowly fill your veins with arteries.
Yeah, the black clots would be blood clots. What I'm seeing is almost absolutely clear gelatinous transparent, but it's really strong like a rubber band. I mean, you could make a slingshot out of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what the pathologists are pulling out. It's really started with the embalmers.
Uh huh.
Um, they couldn't get the uh, they couldn't get the embalming fluids to flow, and so they opened up the veins and to see what was blocking them, and they pulled out these long stringy things. You can see them online. They're all over the place. Yes, it's a
Yeah, it's
protein.
protein.
It's a protein that's assembled by a chaotic mechanism. It's cross. It's what's the term I want? It's cross linked. Um, I was in a bit of a rush to get back. I need to ask what I missed because um, I saw two guests instead of you, and then suddenly it's just you and me. Are they gone?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's just you and me, unless Anonymous is still here with us.
Well,
I've had I've had guests pop in, stay a few minutes, and then pop out and not say anything. I've had several people just pop in and pop out, pop in, pop out,
yeah.
not say anything. which does never made any sense to me. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's it.
if you're gonna come onto a live stream, at least say something. Say
Well, I think a lot of people
your show sucks. F you.
think
At least give me that. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like it.
I think a lot of people were curious and actually were interested in this particular topic, but they subscribed to you and now they're getting notifications that you're back, so they're popping back in to see what's going on. And well, a couple other things that have changed because Rumble is now really starting to pick up. It's becoming a serious contender to YouTube, and everybody's moving to it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Apparently, Maccabee hasn't moved yet.
No.
I am considering actually going on my own channel there to post some of the videos that everybody refused to post for me. Particularly the one where I want to show how the scientific way to that's the word I want. Well, characterize the ballistics of a given ammunition and air gun, and so that you can take the dime out at any distance.
That would be cool.
Yeah, in one in one sequence or one process, it takes about half an hour to 45 minutes, and provides you with a handheld chart of distance versus holdover. And the process, the basic process itself, actually creates a ballistic path chart on butcher paper. In other words, you unroll the butcher paper 10 or 15 feet, and you set up your targets on that. You draw in your targets, and then you shoot at each of those ranges, and you hold dead on to the bullseye from 20 feet or 20 yards to 100 yards, and it literally plots the ballistic path itself. And then from that, you just take down your chart, just walk down each one and show, take each.
I've never heard of such a concept.
Yeah, it's the way a scientist or engineer would plot it out.
Anonymous is he's typing away here. He's saying, "I'm shot free. Question everything the government says is good for me. After being an infantry marine, the government giving me the wrong shot for malaria and knew it."
Well, Anonymous, you don't really have to question everything that comes out of the government. What you need to understand is that it's Luciferian, which means you invert whatever they say, and that is the truth.
Right.
The tricky part is knowing which word is the fulcrum that they pivot on, which word flips the meaning. So, for example, it's pretty obvious with a short title like the Patriot Act. That meant that they were going after the Patriots. Your assumption that they are benevolent leads you to think that it's for the Patriots, when in fact it is. You have to embrace your dark side to understand that they are going after the Patriots.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That would be good to know. Holdover is key at distance. It is. You got, if you can master holdover and windage, I understand the Luciferianness behind the military. I was in it at war multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, I want to, thank you, sir, for your service. I want to thank you for your service and for what you've done.
And I hope that I might have been of some help, because my job at Lockheed was to provide the hardware that you needed for your intelligence systems. I just didn't realize that it was going to be brought back home. And that's when I retired 9 years ago.
Weapons of war of any kind, of every kind, whether it be physical or technological, or
Informational in the 21st century.
informational or mental. It's never been a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of good technological innovations have come out of our advanced advancement towards war.
Yeah,
But still, I think society would have come up with those technological advancements without war.
we have been coming up with those inventions continually all the time. As
Right.
I told you once before, every time you go into the patent office or the patent court to claim that you are you are the inventor of a patent, there's going to be 5 others with the exact same claim, and the court goes with the one that can show paperwork earliest.
Right.
Okay. What happens during war is that um, up until war, there is no any kind of invention is disruptive to the system, to the um,
That's why
establishment, and so it doesn't go anywhere. But at time of
that's
war, the War Department will pick up every kind of invention and push it, and then odds are that your invention will be classified at that point until the war is over. After which they may decide to use it for improving their economy, but uh, almost never can you get anything out there um, without approval of the establishment.
not understand. I just did good for all people around me, even against others uh, to just stand by. I did what was right every time and took the lashing after. Hmm. Well, yeah, I can I can say in my era of operations, I did good for those people.
And I
Um,
thought I was doing good.
it gave me peace knowing I saved all I could, both Iraq and U.S. people.
Yeah,
Well, good for you, ma'am. Thank you again for your service and what you've done. I know you probably, uh, I don't know if you suffer from PTSD from your time inside the
doesn't
military,
everybody?
but I see. I have a form of PTSD, but it's not from war related.
I had a 4-year-old that was diagnosed with PTSD.
A 4-year-old,
Yeah,
and what caused its PTSD?
they wouldn't say.
PTSD,
They wouldn't say, which left an awful shadow over all of us. But
right?
I had been begging for them to have some help for some time. Well, all their lives really, and then that was all we got. You know, that was deconstructed.
Well, doctors have been trying to figure out what's wrong with me since I was born. Now I haven't got no answers yet. Not saying I know I just like to be a dad and shoot air guns out of barrels, right?
Yeah,
Post traumatic stress disorder can affect anyone, right?
yeah, to some
Now
degree. To some
I
degree,
found
we
my
all have it. It's just that most of us get through our lives normally. And normal, of course, means we're all a little crazy.
you know
But it never rises to the level of clinician.
mind form because I always had some depression and anxiety and ADD.
Yeah.
I've always been ADD, ADHD, and but 2 years homeless on the streets in Colorado caused something inside me, a form of PTSD, is what the psych doctors were saying, and so I'm just like, well, okay, what do we do about it?
Hmm.
Oh, what are there? Here's a pill. I'm like, oh,
Here's a
please.
pill. Here's a pill that sends most people on murder-suicide sprees.
Right, right.
Yeah, they tried giving me one of those, and I clamped down on it right away. But Brian, I would say 90% of what you're calling ADHD and dyslexia is actually just a different and, for the most part, superior brain functioning. Your mind moves faster than normal, and since both sides of your hemispheres are firing at full power, they're conflicting with each other sometimes.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that gives you talents over spatial relation perceptions and things like that most people miss. The dyslexia is fairly easy to overcome, but you haven't worked on it. If you had overcome it, you wouldn't have half reading problems that you have.
Yeah, I've never gone through any kind of training to overcome
because
dyslexia. I've never. Oh,
yeah,
my.
because my head works exactly the same way. And when I took up speed reading, it 100% reversed the. It didn't do anything for the dyslexia per se. In other words, I still can't follow verbal directions because I don't know my left hand from my right unless I look at this scar on my arm, which I can't do in traffic. But I get lost all the time just because my left is my right sometimes. But nevertheless, it doesn't slow me down. I have a peak reading speed of 5,000 words a minute and a cruising speed of 3,000 words a minute, with 85 to 95% comprehension. It's not been a problem for me. Okay, this dyslexia does not really. It doesn't even slow your reading down. It's a barrier that has to be overcome before you can really start reading.
Right, right. And I guess I've had to learn to slow my reading down because
but that's not
see, I can speed read and comprehend pretty much everything that's down on paper, but at the same time, that T looks like an L, and I'm pronouncing it as an L.
Now, how does a T look like an L?
I don't know. Words will get mixed up. I was I.
Well, that's typical dyslexia.
And I've had to, because when I speed read, I'm finding myself constantly backtracking.
Yeah, and that is your biggest handicap. What you need is a reading therapist. Okay, and I could help you with that because I went through it entirely myself without any help. I've always had to solve my own problems, but the real power is in your subconscious. A large part of what you're describing is the fact that your subconscious is reading ahead of you, and the thoughts and words and concepts are streaming in the background as you're trying to decode several sentences behind. You're even almost a page behind. What you need to do is to learn to trust your subconscious and turn loose of it and let your subconscious do the work. And then it's your only job is just to move your eyes down the page and see the words or see the page clearly. Don't look at the words, just see the page clearly. That'll take care of the rest. And we've talked about this a little before. If you had to drive the way you read, there'd be no such thing as driving. Probably nobody would even be able to walk.
Nobody would be able to be on the road.
Nobody would be able to be on the sidewalk because your brain wouldn't process fast enough all the things that you need to recognize to maneuver around and classify as good, bad, dangerous, or whatever. And so your brain's already constructed to do that instantaneously. And you just need to transfer your reading into that part of your brain.
Okay.
And that's a process.
If you can give me some hints and help, I'm more than willing to.
One of the most important is to stop verbalizing what you're reading. Don't let it become words in your mind. Don't let it become words in your ears.
Right.
Don't sound out the words in your mind. just see the words, and it's a bit of a trick, and it feels unnatural at first. But when you do that, you'll realize that when you see the words, you know what they mean, and you just move on to the next concept. Just
Yes.
move on, move on, move on, move on, and your mind will string the whole thing together.
It can't affect anyone. Anonymous saying just meant some traumatic event happened to you. Your brain broke a bit. Hmm. Yeah, my brain broke a lot. Some handle it better than others. Hobbies, family, and staying busy helps more than drugs.
Yeah. But the mind broke, but the brain is working perfectly to render the defective mind.
You know, they got me on. They got me on Abilify and Zoloft
Oh,
to help slow me down, to help with my anxiety and
uh huh.
my stress and my anxiety and my my because the doctor said I have a form of post traumatic stress disorder, and 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 it's caused a type of mood disorder.
Yeah. The other problem is that you can't do physical therapy like going out back and cutting some wood because your back won't let you.
You know,
That
yeah,
that was the old fashioned
and
therapy. You get really
and
angry, you go back and take it out on the wood pile.
being in a wheelchair for over a year, almost a year, that caused a lot of mental issues too. That
Oh,
messed with me mentally big time.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
going from being strong and walking to
yeah.
just being feeling so weak to not even being able to walk. That just really messed with me.
Yeah, my dad had a boss who was wheelchair bound, and he said that was one of the roughest bosses he ever had because the guy was so manic.
Right,
He
right.
was so restless and
It just it caused an overwhelming anger inside of me,
ah,
and diet, sleep, workout, what you can handle, and keeping the mind active during long waits helps more people
sure.
out.
And I can certainly control the diet, and I can certainly work the working out. But how do you sleep?
Right.
I need somebody to help me remember how.
What is that? What's that? What is that again? that's,
I remember
that's, a,
doing that.
that sounds like an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Part of my problem is that I have adrenal failure, and that interferes with sleep because then my cortisone levels don't go up and down like they should.
And
and
mine is
and and I'm immune to most drugs, including sleeping pills
right, right.
and caffeine.
They got
I mean immune, as in they have no effect on me. In fact, I just because of this
I
bronchitis, I just got this cough medicine, dextromethorphan. Used to work for me. I take half the bottle and it has no effect.
and they also gave me. He just prescribed me something called nortriptyline.
Called what?
Nortriptyline.
Okay, so it's obviously a derivative of tryptophan, which is an
Yeah,
amino acid that's needed for melatonin, and that helps you to sleep. It's the exact same
sleep.
thing as
And
drinking. It's like drinking milk before bed.
you know, I don't know. I he's got to. He's a lot of it's my fault. I admit it. I'm bad with pills. I'm bad.
Mm.
I hate pills.
Mm-hmm.
And unless I'm reminded, or I've made myself a chart,
Yeah.
and Christine's constantly pointing to my chart,
Uh-huh.
telling me, but I'll forget to take that nortriptyline at night, and without it, I can't sleep.
Uh-huh.
I'm up all night long. I'm up all night long, tossing and turning, getting up, walking around because my spine.
Yeah.
Uh, You know, so I don't know how dangerous that nortriptyline is either.
Well, like I said, it's a derivative of tryptophan. I mean, trypt is in the middle of it.
Trip
Um,
is in the middle of it. Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's a real trip, right?
Right.
Well, what you might try is, go to go and get a good brand of tryptophan from the health food store.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, combine tryptophan with ornithine, or let's see. Um,
Or just eat a lot of turkey.
yes. Well, that would take a lot of turkey.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, tryptophan. It's milk and turkey, or it's tryptophan and ornithine.
And none of us are saying I'll sleep when I'm dead. Right.
I always said that when I was younger, and that's
Wow.
part of the reason I'm where I am now. I mean, even our friends and I we had this discussion about whether we would rather rust out or burn out. We all agreed we'd rather burn out, and that's what I did.
Burn out and fade out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fade away.
I'm not fading. I'm at full force for 10 or 20 minutes until my adrenaline suddenly drops, and
Well,
then
I
I
tell you,
feel like the Lost in Space robot who just had his solar pack pulled.
2 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks, past 2, 3 weeks, I felt faded. I felt like I was just fading away and, reverting, my spine reverting back to where it was. And, even after both surgeries, and I'm just like, damn. So, and, they found two more discs that are deteriorating. One up in here, up in the mid neck,
Uh huh.
and then down right above the L4 and L5.
Uh,
So yeah, my thoughts and my theory on what's going on is correct. My whole back is deteriorating.
have you had any other signs of osteoporosis?
No, I have no bone problems any place else.
I mean, they've
And
taken
it's not
X-rays
and
and
it's not
verified.
in the bone, it's in the disc.
Oh,
It's the discs that are deteriorating, not
uh,
not
um,
the vertebrae themselves. It's the disc.
all right. Well, I don't know if this would help, but try hyaluronic. I'm sorry.
Hyaluronic acid.
Yes,
I've been told that,
yes.
and I
Give
got
it, give
and
it a
I
try.
but this stuff's not cheap.
That one's not bad. Um,
Now,
in any case, one dose isn't going to break the bank.
no,
Um,
but
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 take
unfortunately, one dose isn't going to do me anything.
No, well, it'll tell you something. If it suddenly stops, even for a week, if it stops getting worse, or if the pain lets up a little bit, that would be an indication. Because the thing about something that's deteriorating is it's very unstable and therefore nonlinear, and therefore it's going to react strongly to every influence, positive or negative.
I keep thinking to myself, I've heard. I listen to AM radio, coast to coast,
Yeah.
with George Norrie and whatnot, and just KFBK, and I've learned a lot about, like you said, hyaluronic acid, and
Uh-huh.
there's a there's a new one out that's supposed to work with your stem cells to help regenerate the disc in my spine,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to be researching more on, is because I believe in stem cell
Uh-huh.
uh, for healing.
Yes.
Because isn't that why we have them?
Yep. It's exactly what they're for. Even the brain has stem cells, which they didn't know before. They thought the brain wouldn't do any regeneration.
Right.
So yes,
Lana,
3 a.m. is a common time for insomniacs to wake up. It has to do with the bouncing of the cortisol. Um, and possibly something to do with the alignment with the galaxy, which lowers the barrier to the supernatural, which is why that's called the witching hour.
Wow. Yeah, so
It happens to me all the time too. That's just because my sleep is kind of fragile. So I do have a good, strong drug that you can try that's over the counter. Try Dramamine.
Dramamine.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not very addictive, but it will generally knock you out. You know what it's for. You take it for motion sickness.
Yes, okay, that's where I've heard of it. That's where I've heard of it.
Yeah, and you know how it makes you drowsy?
Yes.
Yeah, so you just go with it.
That's why they had me what was it? 2500 milligrams of that Neurontin gabapentin. I stopped taking that because it you know uh, I heard so many bad things about it. I'm
Yeah.
immune to morphine.
Yeah, that's my problem, Anonymous, is I become quickly immune to any medication that I take for any length of time. Not that I become addicted to it, but it just my liver just digests it. I'm completely immune to alcohol and caffeine now. I mean, I was born immune to alcohol. Apparently, I inherited my grandfather's Russian liver.
Yeah.
That was a story I told once here before. But caffeine, I've been addicted to it 3 times, and I've gone cold turkey and come off of it with all the withdrawals. But now it doesn't even affect me at all.
A grill blew up in my face. Morphine did 0% alive. Damn. Sorry to hear that.
It's possible that you might have an allergy to narcotics, which would mean your immune system is attacking it before it can be effective. You're kind of lucky that you don't become violently ill from it. Aleve? Yeah, I've had lots of things blow up in my face, on my hands. Yeah, I was 3 years old when I peeled the skin off my front from my clavicle to my navel with boiling coffee, and then I've set my hands on fire 3 times with had several high explosives blow up in my face, but no harm done.
No harm done.
I'm one of those.
Wow.
I
thought I led a rough ride.
I'm a pyrophobic pyromaniac.
Pyrophobic pyromaniac.
And that doesn't even count the things that I do with electricity that are best left alone.
Right.
or small scale nuclear experiments.
The one drug helps my pain and stress, but it's a green controversial one.
Yeah,
now medical. California. You know,
you'll get a permit for it, and you're fine.
You know, I'm growing my own.
Yeah.
And
I'm
growing my own, and I am a 100% opponent. I mean, I'm not opponent, but proponent for medical marijuana.
All of my roommates are licensed, but again, I'm immune to it. I tried it. I'm immune. It doesn't do anything for me.
Doesn't do anything.
It drops my blood pressure some. That was one of the main things I wanted to try it for. But other than that, it just makes it feel one of those stronger vibrators held to my skull, and makes my ears hiss, and that's about it. I don't get any whippy or any. I've never gotten any. What's the
So
word for it?
you've never been stoned.
Nope, can't get stoned.
Hmm.
I can be put to sleep. Um, if
See,
I
that's
if I take a really powerful stimulant, I click my heels and salute with one hand.
that's why that's why I smoke it at night.
Uh-huh.
I smoke it before I go to bed. You know, the edibles do nothing to me, and they're the ones with the most potent THC in it.
Yeah.
But they do nothing to me. It's the flower that helps me.
Hmm. Flower power.
Flower power. I'm not immune, but it's way less effective than most.
Well, the stuff they're producing now has been weaponized. It's so powerful that people are
That's why I'm
going
growing.
psychotic
You know,
and having psychotic breaks and even dying.
that's why I'm growing my own.
Yeah.
I'm just growing my. I'm growing my own, growing it wild, and uh, and it comes out really good.
Well,
my
compared to the
my
'60s.
now I can drink 5 gallons of Red Bull when I go to bed.
That suggests you have adrenal exhaustion. You that
Right.
if
There's something not right
or
there.
or are you possibly maybe you're adhead? Um, Stimulants and sedatives work opposite for adhead people because the sympathetic nervous system is underperforming. Well, the parasympathetic nervous system is underperforming, leaving the sympathetic nervous system to overdrive. So you're in flight or flight mode all the time. So a stimulant will actually bring both of them up a bit, but it'll bring up the parasympathetic the most, which calms you down. And of course, if you're exhausted because you're constantly overdriven and high strung, yeah, a strong cup of coffee might send you to bed. Um, and a sip of alcohol can make you crazy.
Yeah, 70. The 70s green was 5% TCHC.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's close to 100.
100%. Well, no, that's not that's not green. That's
That's what I
hash.
say. Yeah.
But if you actually mix a little bit of that with ordinary tobacco, that's a kicker. It actually enhances it.
I've done it. I've done it, and I enjoy it. Put some in my pipe and just tobacco and a little bit of green
Yeah.
and
No,
yeah, it's very enjoyable.
yeah. I don't know how it compares to Hobbit. What do you call it?
Uh,
Hobbit smoke.
how it smoke.
Hobbit weed.
What did they call it? Long bottom.
Yeah. Uh, it's what Gandalf was smoking.
Long bottom. Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
this
so yeah, you're
this
doing the
this
same thing. Just in yeah.
okay.
That's like eating your carbs before eating your fats.
Right. Dessert before dinner. uh, I mean, I tell you one thing. It truly helped me gain weight again.
Ah, that is important.
Because before my surgeries, I had gone down. I was 215 pounds,
Which actually takes a lot of load off the
and
body.
within 5 months, I was down to 155.
Yeah.
And
When I got down to 212, my eyes were gaunt and I looked like a
you
Somali.
know, I right, and it wasn't good. So I started, I started smoking me again, and it truly helps my sleep. It helps my pain, and it helps my nerves. It helps my anxiety. It gives me an appetite.
Yeah. Well, THC is a natural hormone in your body, and as you age, most of your hormones drag. So you could be just bringing yourself
Yeah.
back up to normal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I haven't had my T level um it's checked yet, and I've got to have a lot of other tests done to find out where I don't know, my entire system is at.
Well, yeah, that reminds me of the fact that almost
Yeah,
every part of your body has its own growth hormone. So
yeah,
you wouldn't be looking for anabolic steroids for muscle. You'd be looking for it for bone or for no for cartilage. But
yeah.
I don't know that we've isolated the growth hormone for cartilage.
I'm 6 foot, 190 pounds, in good shape, but the Marines destroyed my back, and I'm not 40 yet. 112 pounds, saw gun, gear, 16 to 18 hours a day. Second tour, carried 86 pounds with with an M16A2 grenade launcher. It's a lot of weight.
Yes. Well, there's a thing that you might have missed because you were out while the infomercials were describing the gravity bed. The
Body is not meant.
gravity bed basically clamps onto your ankles and then tips your head down, and your body weight is puts your back in partial traction. I wouldn't be able to do that because even when I was a kid, if I bend over, I get dizzy. There's some reason
The
why.
body is not meant to carry that weight.
It's meant to carry
Pecs.
it on your hips,
Yes,
not on your pecs.
right. Give me a degenerative disc disease.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
more important to be balanced than what the actual weight is.
So
Uh,
anonymous, you know exactly what I'm going through then.
when I was in my late 20s, I just for kicks picked up the front end of a sports car off the ground with my bare hands. That was roughly about 900 pounds, and my back is fine.
Now that inversion table, doctors told me to stay away.
Okay,
Doctors told me to stay away from that.
probably because you need the stress of gravity to maintain the stimulus to keep the discs. A judgment call in my mind. Something there's the key element here, so it's not going to help if if this key element isn't there to rebuild the disc when you take the pressure off of it or when you have pressure on it.
No. Well, guys, listen, we're coming up on 2 hours,
You are.
and you are. I am. Yeah, uh, I started the show out. Everything was going good,
And then I
and
came along.
then my dumbass went up there, took my cursor and went up and clicked that X, the wrong one, and I cleared out. I closed out the whole window. I closed out windows altogether, right in the middle of the stream.
Oh,
I'm like, no. So I get back in, and this damn camera would not come back on.
hmm.
So I had sitting here troubleshooting for almost 10 minutes, 15 minutes, troubleshooting this camera while everybody's looking at this swirling
Yeah,
black and white in the background.
yeah.
So, yeah, my first day back was just as
Chaotic as ever.
exciting as all my live streams have been, full of mishaps and bloopers. And But my 2 hours is up. Christy's got my dinner on the table, and she's looked at me now twice.
Okay.
So I told her, yeah, 6 o'clock would be it, and she's got my dinner ready for me at 6 o'clock. She was not kidding.
Yeah.
So, Mystic, it's been so great to see you again.
Yeah.
And Anonymous, thank you for sticking around and hanging in there with us. Go ahead, Mystic.
Oh, well, it's a little too late to talk about your future plans for streaming.
I don't know yet. I've been, I'm kind of, I want to change up the whole thing a little bit. I want to get more into, the news of air guns.
Yeah.
What's going on in today's world and reporting on that, and bringing in some guests. Some extra guests. I would love to have Rick Rhymes on my show. I would love to have Maccabee's feedback on. I would love to have um, Anonymous come on. Anybody who likes to come on and share their air gun experience and news with me. I'd like to change up that form. I'm trying to come up with a format for that.
I'd like to come up with
On
a belt drive for the Blitz.
a belt drive for the Blitz would be cool. What I would like to come up with is an extended magazine for the damn Invader. I'm going to ask Mac about that and say, what about the Invader? What happened to an extended magazine for the Invader? The Invader's just been left on the wayside. It's an excellent gun.
Well, he's been testing out some extenders, but it's a complicated project because it involves spring tensions and things, and good springs are getting hard to come by now. So It's taken a while, but he's just now gotten to the point where he's got one that will run through the rapid fire and reliably.
Nama's saying, good stream. I could come on sometime. You got my email. No, I don't have your email. I might have it. Oh, that's right. No, I do have it. Invader Extended Mag 100%. I love to see that. I need a few. You got the Invader also. That's right. But well, listen, guys. I want to thank you for coming on, Mystic.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us for a while. And yes, we are going to be continuing a format on this level. As far as the airgun side is concerned, getting back into the biblical.
Okay.
I've got to come up with another. I'm going to come up with another format for that. And if you have any ideas for me, or where you would like to, where I could start with that, or maybe we can schedule a group thing like we did before.
Uh-huh.
That would be great. That would be fun.
Well, I still have the topics in my notes that need to be fleshed out, but they have started cracking down now on Christians and Christian messages, and I think we really need to look seriously at moving to Rumble full time. There's a lot of topics I'd like to talk about, even with air guns.
I just, Restream doesn't stream on Rumble. And so I got to figure that. I would have to figure that one out.
Okay.
I mean, I could stream on Rumble. It would just be on Rumble. Well,
yeah.
Because with this platform here, you're streaming YouTube. I'm streaming YouTube and Facebook right now at the same time.
But that's because they're both owned by the parent company, Google.
Google, that's right. That's right. Well, let's get together and let's talk about it. Let's formulate a plan. Email me a number that I can contact you with, or I can email you my number.
Yeah.
We can talk on the phone and come up with some ideas.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Best thing would be to send me your number, because all of your private data I have on Well, it's an encrypted format, and the encryption failed on my laptop, and
Oh no.
I can only use my big computer. But my big computer is working now, and I
Okay.
still need to set up
You
studio equipment with a big computer.
do you still got my email address?
Yeah, in the big computer. I
Okay, hold on.
can't access it from the laptop anymore.
All right, hold on. Write this down.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay, it's right there. The link is in the chat box.
Okay.
bs.childers2014@gmail.com. Mister, do you have a channel? Post
Yes, Childers.
bs.childers
Okay.
2014
2014
at gmail.com.
at Gmail. Okay.
Yeah. Mystic does have a channel he posts to. Um, and which is Mystic 22222, right?
I have a channel that the grandkids post on when I'm not looking.
Oh, that's right. Rumble has its own stream service. Yeah.
There are some topics I do definitely want to post on YouTube. For instance, musical composition, um, playing naturally, keyboard performance naturally instead of the old-fashioned way. To me, music is a language. It's always been called that, but hardly anybody ever uses it that way. But I think it that way, I compose that way, and I teach that way. So you should be able to sit
Yeah.
down to a keyboard, and whatever you're
I,
hearing in your head should flow through your fingers.
Anonymous, I'm already in trouble. I'm already there. She's eating without me. Guys, I'm going to let you go. Okay?
Okay,
We're going to
eat
call
some.
this a night.
Okay,
And thank you again, Mystic, for coming on. And Anonymous, thank you for being here with us. And everybody else that's come in and out, thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button, that thumbs up, like and share this. And we'll see you on the next one.
eat some for me.
All right, guys. God bless you. Have a good one. Stay safe, shoot straight. And we'll see you next time.
Good night.
All right.